Some people take a grand vacation to address the problem of exhaustion and boredom when it comes to work or life. However, it may not be effective in totally eliminating the sense of disillusionment and stress and anxiety. Here are some ways that people resort to dealing with a stressful situation like burnout. Now, it's like being in a dead end, finally reaching a stage in your career when you come face to face with a complete sense of disillusionment with your job and perhaps with yourself. You no longer get any satisfaction nor fulfillment in everything that you do, and no one can talk you out of whatever decision you've already made. It's the point of no return. It's about time that you give yourself not just a break, but freedom from stress and anxiety that have just been tearing your world apart. And this symptom is experienced by many, whether they have general anxiety or social anxiety. And it's called burnout. Now, burnout is a deep-seated sense of disillusionment and exhaustion with a job or career that used to provide so much excitement and motivation. And no one is exempt from burnout. It happens to highly committed and passionate individuals who encounter problems or get involved in situations where their enthusiasm and passion are gradually being stripped away until they eventually lose the drive and will to go on. And it can be a situation or a thought that can weigh you down or make you feel frustrated and angry. Stress and anxiety are normal parts of everyday life, but they both can motivate a person to be productive and rise up to a challenge through, a tough situation. However, too much stress and too much anxiety can be harmful and may cause physical, emotional, and psychological problems like heart disease and depression. Stress and anxiety at the workplace can lead to burnout. So taking a much-needed vacation may help address the problem of exhaustion and boredom, but it may not be effective in totally eliminating the sense of disillusionment and anxiety. So here are some ways people resort to dealing with a stressful situation like burnout. Some people just go through the motions, and they deal with burnout by not dealing with it at all. To accept it and not do anything about it is one of the worst ways to deal with burnout. Such indifference will soon result to anger and bitterness as opportunities pass you by. Career change is another way people deal with burnout. Now, when the passion and drive that used to inspire you to do your best have been snuffed out, disabling you from going on further with your career, it's time to consider making a shift. A new profession will certainly give you a new perspective. However, changing careers may not credit some of the precious experiences you've already gained as relevant to your new found endeavor. And moreover, competition will most likely come from much younger people who are willing to accept lower salaries, and this affects your bargaining power. Some people decide to just change jobs, stay within the same career but change jobs. Now, a change of your job within the same field of endeavor or profession, it's just like having the same job but in a totally different environment. And your skills and the previous experiences you've acquired will be transferable, and it'll allow you to rededicate your original goals to start anew without being reminded of the burdens that come with staying on the same job in the same political environment. So individuals who are disillusioned with their previous employers may benefit in job change. However, the downside of this response is the possibility you may end up with the same situation again if the cause of burnout is the job itself and not the other factors such as management or coworkers. Then there's something called a wake-up call. Some people manage through burnout situations by considering it as a trigger to reevaluate their lifestyles and what they want to achieve. And this form of stress management, it's one of the most positive ways to cope with burnout. It's dealing with the sense of failure by talking with somebody who may have experienced the same situation and help you realize without bias why, after all the inputs you've generously given and efforts you've exerted to do well, did not work out to your advantage. And the person you go to sort of get this feedback, they should not be from the same company. You want to avoid prejudice. because it can only complicate the decision making. And sometimes this is all that's needed to relieve stress and anxiety that leads to burnout. Sometimes you just need perspective and an opportunity to decide which direction you're going to move in. And the realization may lead you, this may lead you to yourself or to other people as the one to be blamed. But what's important is to be able to move on without dwelling further on that blame or any guilt you may have about the burnout. Coming to terms with the situation will allow you to learn that hard work is not the only thing that matters, that major achievements need the support of other people, and most importantly, that, they're not superhuman to cure all ills. Coming to terms with your situation often relies on a paradigm shift within yourself. Learning how to spot and communicate problems early on to avoid repeating the same mistakes or same burnout. You can consult with your healthcare providers regarding therapies and stress management programs in order to help you move on from a burnout situation and stress and anxiety, to rise above the demands of a new and challenging career or just a change in your life. And change is a part of life. So no matter how happy you are in your current moment, there will come a day where maybe you need a change. Maybe, you've sort of plateaued or become complacent in your career and you need some other sort of stimuli. Maybe that same carrot that the company dangled in front of you in years past is no longer exciting to you. Maybe you need a new way to be incentivized to work. So no one can really answer these questions for you but yourself. However, the point of this is really when you're feeling the symptoms of burnout, the worst thing you can do is just ignore it and continue putting one foot in front of the other. Your mind, your body, your environment, they're all trying to tell you something. They're telling you that change is approaching and you need to take inventory of that and decide for yourself what's best for you in the future. So recognize burnout as a signal that perhaps you need change. You need to make some decisions for yourself. As stressful as it is, try not to get worn down by the stress of change. You're actually in much more control than you may realize. And this is a great opportunity to take some time and decide on the direction that you're going to follow for your career and your life. So start there. And if you want more tips on how to cope with anxiety and deal with overwhelming social anxiety, whether in your career, your workforce, or your life, you can find peace at my website, socialanxietyfix.com, where I offer a free video training series that shows you how to cope with the social pressures and demands of life and how to truly find peace and calm within yourself on your own terms. So check it out right now at socialanxietyfix.com, and you can just sign up for the free video series, and I'll see you there. Take care.